Thank you for joining Just Man Rises. I'm your host, Tyrone Downs, and thank you for joining again. As we get started, remember there are 3 links in the description box below. Please join me and read through the Bible. This is very crucial. The first link is reading through the Bible with me. It's through the Bible app by YouVersion, and it has a lot of attributes inside of it. There's no promotion from here, but I just want you to join me. You can easily join me with the link below of how to we read the Bible. It reads to you, it gives you a devotional, and it gives you the scriptures for the day. Right now we're in the book of Exodus, and we're closing up Matthew as we speak. And of course, we always read Psalms and Proverbs. So just join me with that. And with that, we're going to be getting into something we learned in Job over the past couple weeks. The second link is the t-shirts. Remember, come get your Just Man Rises gear. Everything is working out. So join me. Join the t-shirts. Get the t-shirts. Then the last one is a book link for When Enough is Enough. Discount code is there until the end of the month. Now, let's get started. Okay, so this is a unique lesson today. We're gonna talk about a little science and of course a lot of the Bible. As we go through the Bible and the creation proves who God is and what He's done. So when we look at that, we cannot remove science from our study of how we study the Bible and how we study God. In particular, today we're going to talk about some dinosaurs. So let me give you a background of how we get into dinosaurs. So as I told you, it's going to be about Job. Job is, as I said, is the parts in Job. And this part, God is talking to Job. And probably his friends, it doesn't really say if his friends can hear all this, but it does give Job's response in some of his answers. But God does eventually in those last chapters talk to the friends of Job who came. All right, so here it is. The friends got to talk. So we see the beginning of Job. God brags about Job, say, "Who? What you doing, Satan? Can you talk about my servant Job?" Then it keeps going. His friends come sit with him. He loses everything first. His friends come sit with them, and then they started talking their stuff. One of them was really good. The rest of them were not so good advice. Just what happened and what they think happened and what they think is going on. And then we come to this last part. After all the friends talk, after Job responds and everything, God comes on the scene. And this is where it happens in Job chapter 40. So Job 40 and 41, 42 are the last chapters of Job and how it breaks down. It's mostly God speaking here and the men responding to what God spoke. So how we get to the dinosaurs is God giving Job, like, who can mess with these creatures? And he explains these creatures, describes these creatures. Understand with me that dinosaur is a modern word. It's a 20th century word that is a combination of 2 words, but it wasn't always a word. It was so modern that what we hear and what we've always seen, we have many stories and documentation of what they call dragons. I see dragons, they start with the same word, right? D start with the same letter, right? D, dragons, dinosaurs. So here we are. The word dinosaur was not invented back then. And so God gives the names of these creatures. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put some pictures, right here in my box of some of those things. So just stay tuned. We're going to work that out. So God explains what these things are. And I know some of the commentaries do a really poor job of explaining these creatures. So just keep in mind that they are dinosaurs, are dragons, or they are prehistoric creatures that roam the earth, and that God even said that I created them just like I created you. And of course, the flood and everything destroyed more than what every animal that was alive that didn't get on the ark. So we have to realize that a lot of things changed. The floods changed a lot of things. Even to this day, we're finding mammoths in Antarctica with food, vegetation still in their bellies. They found that, recently in the past, 20 years, 25 years, they found things that proved that there was life before a certain period. So just keep that in mind as we look at that. So let's get into the word. So let's get to the word. The word. So join with me in Job 40. So if you was going through the Bible with me on the Bible app, you would have noticed that they did Genesis and then they did Job. Now we're on Exodus. So if you're following track and you're looking at how things are set up and how things are working, Job is one of the oldest books in the Bible, one of the oldest books, oldest things. So it was kind of fitting for us to look at what we have here, to look at Job. So let's read a couple of verses. It's a lot. It's pretty much 2 chapters, 40 and 41, or 1.5 chapters of God speaking of these creatures. So I'm going to read the behemoth, and then I'm going to let you on your own time read the other one, but I'm going to bring out the points. All right. All right, so in Job 40, and let's look at, and a reminder, y'all have my Bible here, my study Bible that I use. All right, that's my study Bible I use when I'm reading here, when I'm reading the word by, in my quiet time, it's King James Version or English Standard Version. I want to make sure that I translate things and they come off to us in the English language as it should be. All right, so I'm going to start with verse 15. I'm going to read 15-24. I'm going to talk about those. Job 40, verse 15. Take a look at Behemoth, which I made just as I made you. It eats grass like an ox. See its powerful loins and its muscles of its belly. Its tail is as strong as a cedar. The sinews of its thighs are knit tightly together. Its bones are tubes of bronze. Its limbs are bars of iron. Its prime example of God's handiwork, and only its creator can threaten it. The mountains offer it their best food, where all the wild animals play. It lies under the lotus plants, hidden by the reeds in the marsh. The lotus plants give it shade among the willows beside the stream. It is not disturbed by a raging river, not concerned when the swelling Jordan rushes around it. No one can catch it off guard or put a ring in its nose and lead it away. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about these. Now, as we go along, I'm going to put the pictures up so you can get a picture of what I'm as I described. So it says, look at Behemoth. Talks about creation. I made Behemoth just like I made you. And he tells us what it eats. It eats grass like an ox. All right. So a lot of animals eat grass like an ox. Let's keep going. Its powerful loins and the muscles of its belly. Okay, now I've been talking about a strong animal. Now we started to dwindle down the animals that it could be. All right, so if you keep in mind, you want to keep a hippo in mind or a rhino in mind. Okay, you want to keep in mind they all eat grass. All right, they're strong. They're very strong animals, and you can keep elephant there if you want to. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Strong as a cedar. Its bones are bronze. It's a prime example of God's handiwork, creator. The mountains offered its best food, and it lies under the lotus plants, hidden in the reeds of the marsh. The lotus plants give it shade among that, and its tail like a cedar. So those are some attributes of this animal, right? And the reason why we look at the dinosaurs as it being is because out of all those animals I just named, the hippo, the rhino, they don't have a long tail. They don't have a tail like that. And so here are the few animals, dinosaurs, that they could possibly be. Take a look. What you think? Okay. So here we go do it. We'll look at that. All right, so let's talk about next. So I'm not going to read all of the next one. I want you to go and read that and really look at that and see what animals are. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna go to Job 41. So the name of it, this animal is Leviathan. Okay, Leviathan. And Leviathan, can you catch it? Can you catch him with a hook? Can you do anything to him? I'm going to skip through a little bit. Will you beg for mercy? He's like, if you mess with this animal, you will remember it. This is verse 8. If you lay a hand on it, you will certainly remember the battle that follows. You won't try it again. So whatever this animal is ferocious. The teeth, it says teeth are all around, his fierce teeth. Verse 12, I want to emphasize Leviathan's limbs and his enormous strength and grace form. Like he is a force to be reckoned with. So who can strip off his hide? Who can penetrate his double layer of armor? And I'm going to show you this animal right here. And it's probably up. I'm going to put it up. Let's put it up. But I'm going to show you this animal right here, and we're going to look at that. Who can penetrate? For you pry open his jaw, for his teeth are terrible. His scales are back like rows of shields. I'm going to give you this. Watch this. This is rows of shields, just that alone. Okay? So, in some commentaries that they have in the Bible say this is alligator. But let's look at it. Let's keep going. There are some things. Verse 18. I'm going to read verse 18. Verse 18, 19. Because they talk about something that what we call dragons. Okay? When it sneezes, it flashes light. Its eyes are like a red of the dawn. Lightning leaps from its mouth. Flames of fire flash out. Smoke stream from its nostrils like steam from a pot heated over burning rushes. So look, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? All right. And so, and it says, what happened? So, as we talk about science and how God has laid things out, and how he used creation to give Job an example of what or how he should be thinking, or that. You notice that after that, Job realized what's going on. Job realized that, hey, you know what? Who am I to say anything about anything? And he's like, no, I repent of my thought process. And that's what we're talking about, repent. Remember, we're talking about thought process. And so as we look at how Job manifested, saw what God was talking about, he's like, you know what, you're right. Like, oh, whoa. And that's most of the conversation that God had with Job was from talking about the animals or creation. Like, can you, who is the one that did all these things? Like, who can answer these questions? Who can? And like, Lord, I can't do it. And so that's what happened. And then, as we know, Job was restored, but don't forget how he was restored. And I think that sometimes we forget what happened in the end, that Job was restored when God talked to his friends. So you were wrong. You didn't represent me properly. You're going to get it. So when he did, you're going to get it. So God was mad at his friends, and he said, Job, go pray for your friends. He told them to bring an offering. He told them to bring an offering, and Job is going to pray for you. But I'm going to accept Job's prayer because he is right in my eyes. Righteousness, right standing with God. So he's right in my eyes. So when Job prayed for his friends, that's when God restored all his stuff. Friends came and brought him stuff. He had more children than he ever had. Everything that he lost, it was double. But at the end of this, it was all in God's control. And I want you to know that God is in control. Just like there are no dinosaurs here right now, doesn't mean that they don't exist. And that's the thing we need to combine and look at. Science meeting creation. They're not in opposition of each other. They're not in opposition. And so we have to keep that in mind. The laws of gravity are created by God for a reason. The natural laws that we have, God has made natural laws that human cannot break. You cannot break that. A man cannot have a child. Natural law. You can't do it. We can legislate different things, but we cannot change natural laws. And so there are so many natural laws that we have. So that Old Testament, New Testament doesn't change that. Under law or grace cannot affect natural laws that God had. Water flows, gravity, north, south, wind blows from east to west or west to east or however it goes. Like, you cannot change how a hurricane is formed. Like natural laws we cannot address. So keep that in mind as we're reading the Bible. As I said, we're going to talk more about kingdom here, but I wanted to make a pause to say that science doesn't disprove the Bible. They are in junction because God created it all. And he said, you can go look at the leaves. You can go look at creation and somebody can tell that's never heard a verse in the Bible can go look at creation and things, look at creation, look at the creation and say, there's somebody made this. Just like this house that I'm in, like somebody made it. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. That's why every animal, insect, everything has a purpose in the place, in its own environment. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And God is still teaching us through his word. Make sure that we always get back to the word. And again, please join me in reading through the Bible. If any of the other links don't work or you don't want to mess with the other links, join me in reading through the Bible. We have people on there, the few people that are on there, they are reading the Bible and they're engaging. And so there's a time that we can comment on each other's at the end of it. So you get interaction. That's why it's crucial that you come join me and read through the Bible. You get interaction like there. You read the verse like most of the comments that I make or that I see are from someone else who is 3 hours ahead of me. So when I wake up in the morning to read mine, I get to see his comments, and then he'll get to see mine, when he goes back in there the next day, or whenever, if he goes back in there the same day. So please, this is the biggest part. The word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword, able to divide soul and spirit. It is the key component of how we live and how we're going to live in this society. And just like I said with Job, the crisis that he went through, how we respond to crisis, how we respond to this pandemic, we can go look at Job and see how we should respond and how should we reverence God in the midst of that. So thank you for joining me. And hey, see those dinosaurs? All right. We'll talk to you later. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to this YouTube channel. Thank you and have a blessed day.